The Lincoln cent, one of the most iconic coins in U.S. history, has been minted in various forms since 1909. It features the image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and has undergone various design changes over the decades. Among the different years, 1981 stands out as a year in which certain errors made some of its pennies exceptionally rare and valuable to collectors. While the 1981 Lincoln penny itself is not particularly rare, certain error varieties, such as the 1981 double die, have become some of the most sought-after items for numismatists and collectors alike. The value of a 1981 Lincoln penny can range significantly. While some can be found for less than $500, those that are in high-grade conditions, such as MS 65 or higher, can fetch prices well over $1,500 at auction. Some of the highest-priced 1981 DDO pennies have sold for over $5,000. This article will explore the history of the 1981 Lincoln penny, the errors associated with that year, and the rarest and most valuable errors that have surfaced. We will also cover how these coins are evaluated, their market value, and the significance of the 1981 penny in numismatic history. The most significant of these errors are double die varieties, which occur when the dies used to strike the coins shift slightly during the engraving process. This results in a double image on certain parts of the coin, making it a distinct and rare variety highly sought after by collectors. While there are several types of errors that occurred in 1981, the most famous and rare are the following: 1981 double die obverse, 1981 off-center strike, 1981 overminted date, 1981 clipped planchet, the 1981 double die obverse. The 1981 double die obverse, DDO, is considered the most valuable and rare error penny from that year. This error occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned during the engraving process, resulting in the appearance of doubled images on the obverse, particularly in the inscriptions such as "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." 1981 Lincoln penny production and composition. The year 1981 was a relatively standard year in terms of the production of Lincoln pennies. No major design changes were made, and the obverse retained the traditional image of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse continued to feature the Lincoln Memorial. However, certain minting errors, especially those involving the dies used to strike the coins, began to draw attention from collectors and numismatists. During 1981, Lincoln pennies were minted with a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, a mix that was still in use before the official switch to zinc-plated steel cents in 1982. This high copper content made the coins relatively heavy and easy to strike. The U.S. Mint produced these coins in large quantities, with over 7 billion pennies struck that year. Most of these coins were produced in the Philadelphia, P, and Denver, D, mint facilities, but some minor errors began to surface in the months following their release. Common errors on the 1981 Lincoln penny. Most of the errors associated with the 1981 penny are due to issues with the dies used in the minting process. History. The history of the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation for over a century, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. The first Lincoln cent, designed by artist Victor David Brenner, was issued in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The design featured a portrait of the 16th President of the United States on the obverse and a simple reverse featuring wheat stalks, known as the wheat penny. This design continued until 1958, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo. In 1982, the U.S. Mint underwent a significant change when it switched from copper to a copper-plated zinc composition due to rising copper prices. This composition change was not without controversy, and it led to a series of notable issues and errors during the transition period. However, when discussing the 1981 penny, the key focus remains on the coins that were struck that year with various errors. Identification of the 1981 DDO. To identify the 1981 double die penny, collectors should examine the lettering and date on the obverse carefully. In the case of the 1981 DDO, the doubling is usually most evident on the word "Liberty" and the motto, "In God We Trust." The doubling can be seen with the naked eye, but using a magnifying glass or a loupe can help further highlight the issue. The doubling on the DDO can be subtle, so it requires a keen eye and sometimes expert knowledge to spot. The error occurs when the die shifts or is misaligned during the striking process, causing parts of the image to be struck twice. Rarity and value of the 1981 DDO. Finding a 1981 Lincoln penny with this error is rare, and it is considered highly valuable to collectors, especially in mint state or near mint condition. Depending on the grade, the value of a 1981 DDO can range significantly. While some can be found for less than $500, those that are in high-grade conditions, such as MS 65 or higher, can fetch prices well over $1,500 at auction. Some of the highest-priced 1981 DDO pennies have sold for over $5,000, but these are usually coins that are in exceptional condition or have been graded by professional services like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. Other notable errors from 1981. While the 1981 double die obverse is by far the most notable error from the year, other less common mistakes have also emerged. These include the following: 1981 off-center strike. This occurs when the blank planchet is improperly aligned during the strike, resulting in a coin that is not fully centered. These coins can be particularly striking and visually appealing, though their value is less than that of the DDO, depending on how much of the coin is missing or distorted. 1981 overminted date. Occasionally, a coin may be struck with two overlapping dates, often a remnant of a previous year's die still being used in production. The 1981 overminted date varieties are rarer than other errors but tend to be less valuable than the DDO. 1981 clipped planchet. A clipped planchet occurs when the metal strip that is fed into the coin press gets misaligned and results in part of the blank coin being missing. These can be intriguing for collectors, but they are usually worth less than the DDO error. Market value and demand for 1981 error pennies. The market for rare coins, especially those with error varieties, is heavily influenced by the rarity, condition, and demand from collectors. The 1981 DDO penny has been in high demand, with some of the finest examples fetching prices in the thousands. The rarity of the error combined with its high visibility has ensured that collectors continue to hunt for the 1981 DDO penny. Other error pennies from 1981, such as the off-center strikes and clipped planchets, are not as valuable as the DDO variety but can still fetch decent prices depending on their rarity and condition. In general, the more pronounced and dramatic the error, the higher the coin's potential value. Why do 1981 error pennies matter to collectors? For collectors, error coins are highly desirable because they represent a mistake in the minting process, making them unique and historically significant. Errors can happen for a variety of reasons, including issues with the dies, improper planchet feeding, or malfunctions in the coin press machines. Each error is a piece of history, showing how the minting process can go awry and how the U.S. Mint works to produce millions of coins correctly every year. The 1981 Lincoln penny errors are especially fascinating because they represent a time of transition in U.S. coinage. While the 1981 cent was still made of mostly copper, the switch to the zinc-plated steel composition was looming in 1982. This shift in composition is often seen as a turning point in the history of U.S. currency, and error coins from this period are a reminder of the changes taking place in the minting process. Conclusion: the 1981 Lincoln penny, particularly the 1981 double die obverse, stands as one of the most sought-after error coins in the world of numismatics. Though not all 1981 pennies are rare, those with minting errors are highly prized for their rarity and historical significance. The value of these error pennies can vary greatly depending on the condition and type of error, with some selling for thousands of dollars in top condition. For collectors, the 1981 Lincoln penny remains an important part of American numismatic history, symbolizing both the precision of the U.S. Mint and the occasional quirks that make error coins so appealing.